Hi, Martina Rizzo of Deliberate Distractions, and excuse my appearance today. We're not really vain or concerned about things like, being prim and proper around here. I had a babysit and I made a bubble pool for my little cousin, 3-year-old cousin upstairs, and I was babysitting. We had a great time today. And I'm done, and I want to give you a little help on quilting. Okay, if you're new to quilting, and you gotta excuse my hair, Miss Do It Herself tried to use a clipper and cut my own hair, and I made a mess. And I did that last night, and I was babysitting this morning, and I had a we'll get to the beauty parlor to straighten it out. It's just really not an emergency for me. So anyway, here we are. Now this piece right here is a very important thing for quilting, I have found. I tried to do a couple of quilts before, but before I got these things, 3 pieces that I'm going to tell you about, oh my God, are they great for doing a quilt. So this is a self-healing pad. So this is, and it has all these like designs on it for quilting, okay? So all these kind of shapes are already on there for quilting, for making quilts, okay? So I'm doing simple quilts because I'm new at this. So I've cut pieces, I believe, and I don't have a ruler on me, but this does have a ruler. Let's see if it has enough. So my pieces, I believe these are cut 9 and 10 and a half by 8 and a half, and that was the size pieces that I did for my quilt the first video that I showed you. So this here is a ruler that kind of stays in place on the material. There's the self-healing cutter board. And here is your razor wheel, okay? And this wheel will cut right through several layers of material at once for a perfect thing. So you would take your square, say if you use quilting squares or size of material, and let's say you wanted to make a strip. You can fold it over even up to 4 times. And say you want it to be 2.5 inches, you would place it on your board so it's 2.5 inches. That would give you 2 inches of strip and 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch on each side for seam. And you can do several layers. It'll cut right through several layers. So I can't tell you, how many. I am like one of these do-it-yourselfers. Try it, and excuse me if you see me wearing 2 pairs of glasses. Not a crazy lady. I'm a lady with diabetes with eye problems, and when I'm close up I need 1 pair. When I'm in the middle way, TV way, and computer way is all 3 different things. And so it gets so complicated taking off glasses that I end up doubling up so that I can see better when I need it. So it's just a matter of convenience. It's, when you get older, if you start accommodating yourself for every little thing that starts going wrong, it's going to be hell for you. So I just let some of it, oh well, it is what it is. And I cry and complain a lot, and I do this to distract myself. So anyway, once you get your strips cut, now what I did is I decided how many strips I wanted in between. So the long strips, I made the whole size of my wide blanket. So if I had 108, I made 108-inch strips. I knew that I was only using 90, but then I had to use the strips that go in between. Or if you're, say, I had my shorter side, I believe. So the 10.5-inch piece by 8.5. So my shorter piece, and it would be longer, 10.5 by 8.5. Now the strips that were in between, that you sew in between, were 8.5 by 2.5, okay? And so then you always have to iron. So let's say, this is not the size strips that I use, but let's say I would have to cut this strip into pieces that would fit this, you see, and that would go, and then you would put your right sides together and sew these pieces together, and get your strip for as long. Say if you want them 5 across, I believe mine is 7 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 across and 7, and no, 7 across and 9 down, I believe, was my quilt. So 7 times 9 was what? I think it was 63, 50 something. I don't know. That's hard. Alright, so I'm like a regular person. I'm not going to figure out that math, but I made that many squares. In fact, I made many more than those squares. So I keep squares because I plan. Now this, I was making 5 quilts. I'm making 5 new quilts. And this is really cool colors. You see, they're going to be all different, like psychedelic tie-dye. So I'm going to have one with these pink and red and purple colors. Okay, so see, these are kind of matching. And I'm going to have one with these deep blue colors and purple colors. I'm going to have a pink one with the pinks. Okay. And I'm going to have the ones I'm making right now, and I've got some more aqua blue, because people love that color, and it's very in this season, so I'm making a couple of those. So I've got plenty of my pieces to make 5 quilts. I still have to cut some of them. I got a few extra, because I want to make different size ones. So, then, voila, you sew them together, and you end up with a piece like this, okay? So here you've got your smaller pieces, your shorter pieces in between. You want to make rows, all rows of just your squares and your shorter pieces. When you're finished with the rows, like here we have 4 rows, it's a 12 piece, so 4 across 3 wide. So once I made 4 rows of 3, or 3 rows of 4, whatever, however I did it, I then did them together. Oh, this is what I did. I did a row of 3. And then the long strips then are put between the pieces that you make. And now I am going to go, now I bought some new material to do the backing and the edging. And I've washed it, and everything has to be washed and shrunk and then ironed so that it comes right, so that you can match it up. And it's, you know, if something isn't ironed, something that might be truly 7.5 inches comes out looking like 6.5 inches until you put it together, and then things aren't straight. So on here I've already put 2 pieces of 12s, 2 of them. And on these I'm going to take this material and I'm going to make a border, so I have a square with this in the center. Okay, and then I've got a backing, and I'm going to think about, you know, putting the backing on, whether I want another edge around that. So, stay tuned. We'll do more, you know, and have fun and trust yourself. Try it, you know. People don't have any faith in themselves. You can do more than you think you can do. It's, you know, there's now all these directions are so simple to get. All you got to do is YouTube it, and you got a way to do it. So, once again, I love my deliberate distractions. God knows that this philosophical head of mine would go in some crazy places constantly if I didn't have it to do. So, it blesses my life, and hopefully this will bless some others, and I can sell a few of them. So for right now, this is Deliberate Distractions. Check it out. Have a great weekend.